Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85, of course representing YouTube's bargain basement of the airwaves. And I'm back today with my latest video. Today, of course, another figure review, and we are going to go ahead and take a look at my Bandai movie monster series Varan figure. So I always pronounce it Varan. I know a lot of other people pronounce it Varan, but that's just, the way that I prefer. So I was definitely really happy that I added this figure to my collection. I'm a big time fan of Varan, and I really do enjoy this, even though there are, as a lot of other reviewers have noted, there are definitely some faults with it, but still really happy to have this figure. So let's go ahead though, let's jump right into it here. So we're going to start with the tag. As you guys know, I don't keep them on the figures. I always cut them off, but then I keep them like collector cards. And, very cool here. A nice little money shot of Varan. I believe this is from his original incarnation of Varan the Unbelievable. Very cool there. You see, this was copyrighted 2022 when the figure was made. Of course, you got Varan in English and then Japanese. Some Japanese scripture down there. Take a look here. Got the little silhouette, which is pretty much the same image as that for Varan. Got some legal information in Japanese here on the inside. Of course, the Godzilla trademark information there. So very cool. And then the back with nice little silhouette of the spines there. Very cool. Of course, Japanese and English, movie monster series, and got your Bandai logoing. Trademark Toho, 2022, made in China. Very cool. Bandai Namco. And another look-see at the inside and at the front there. And really a nice tag. I definitely like it. So let's go ahead though and jump right into the figure review itself here. So we're going to start with the paint and the detail. So as a lot of other reviewers have noted, the paint is pretty minimal on this guy. So you've got the main body scheme, which is done in this sort of orangish brown, sort of muddy-ish color, I guess you could call it, which is, that paint scheme in and of itself is fairly accurate to the way that he's depicted in Destroy All Monsters. It's just where it kind of lacks is that there's no real, shading done throughout for the paint. So it's kind of just that one main color for the body scheme here. But you do have at least some stuff here. You got on the face, you got some really nice detail work. Got that sort of bumpy nostril that he's got there, and of course all the spikes that he's got and the horns on his head there. And of course these sort of fins or whatever that protrude out from the sides of the face there on both sides. Just done in that main, muddy brown color, but still really nice attention to detail there. The eyes, you got the white eyes and black pupils, which is pretty signature of Varan. Definitely indicative of him. And you got that sort of off-white for the teeth there. Painted on, at least. Looks like somewhat individually sculpted, at least on a few of them anyways. And then of course that very deep red for the inside of the mouth. You guys can see on the roof, and then of course on the tongue as well, if the camera sort of picks that up. But very cool there. And then of course you got this sort of creamish color done for the some of the horns here on the face, and then on the spines that protrude out from the top the head here and run down his back, that sort of singular row of the dorsal spines that he's got. And again, that sort of weird thing that Bandai does where, because you can see it's pretty much spray painted on this sort of creamish color that's done in, but then it stops, like basically a hard stop right there, and then it's just that orangish brown for the rest of the way. I really don't, and that's, like I said, that's sort of something that's pretty much signature of what Bandai is doing in recent years. I don't understand it, but it is what it is, though, folks. Nonetheless, though, real nice attention to detail. You get that sort of carapace all along his back, and it actually starts from the back of the head here. runs all the way down on the top side of the tail, all the way down to pretty much the tip there. Really, really nice etched in detail work for that carapace that he's got. That's very signature of Varan's design. I really, really like that. So very, very cool there. Of course, you got all the veins and the muscles done for like the front legs and the rear legs here, and you got those membranes, like the membrane flaps that he uses to glide through the air. Here you can see the way that that's captured there, sculpted in very well with those sort of fins on the back legs here. And of course, the membrane flaps that go into the fins on the front legs on the back side there. The feet here done nicely, nicely sculpted, nice detail work there. And of course, again, you got more of that sort of off-white bone color for the claws there, the front toe claws there. The back toe claws, you got the detail work sculpted for the feet, but the back toe claws are just done in that brown color. Not really fully understanding why. Again, that's kind of where the drawback is of this figure, so I definitely do agree, with the sort of the lack of paint that was done. But the detail work, though, really is well done. I mean, you got more like the musculature, and you got some scales and some grooves, and definitely some nice definition on the body there and the chest and abdomen area, and then of course running down into the tail, and you got some of those sort of osteoderms and again line segments done throughout the tail there, and of course your signature trademark information for Toho and Bandai China. So looks really, really good though otherwise. Really do love the detail work. Definitely captured well for Varan here. So, guys can just kind of take a little look-see around. But like I said, other than the lack of paint, I do think the detail is pretty well captured on it. That pretty much wraps it for the paint and the detail. Now, as far as articulation, the Bandai Movie Monster Series, vinyl figure is pretty basic. The arms will rotate. And you can actually sort of get him a little bit in that sort of gliding pose, depending how you put it, but they can rotate. They can pretty much spin freely all the way around on both sides, as you guys can see there. And then the legs, the hind legs, I should say, they can rotate as well, pretty much a full 360 without really impeding too much on the body sculpt there, so that's pretty good. There's a glue seal at the base of the neck here. I don't like to break those, so nothing there at the head. And then the tail, I believe, is actually also glue sealed. Yep, because I can't, unless I'm mistaken, I can't rotate it at all. So it's only the front legs and the hind legs that can rotate on this figure. So, I mean, make of that what you will, but it's basic articulation anyway, so at least it does, get the job done for what it is. So, and then other than that, we'll look at sizing next here. And I got the ruler first, so we're going to measure since he is on all fours. So we'll measure here. So let's see, we'll start here at the base of the tail up to the head. And it's actually about 12 inches in length. So it does have a nice presence to it. Height-wise, he's standing, if you look at the top of this spine right there, it's roughly 4 inches. If you're looking at more like the top of the face, it's about 3.5 inches. So kind of, choose your own adventure as far as that goes. But definitely a good size figure. He will take up some shelf space there, so just to kind of keep that in mind. And that's one thing that's also been noted on this figure, is that it is a fairly good size. Now, as far as the size comparison goes, from my last review, I just wanted to go ahead and pull out the Bandai Movie Monster Series 1965 Baragon figure, and just so you guys can see the sizing. Yeah, just to showcase there. So they do look pretty good together. Now Varan definitely, especially lengthwise, has a you know, bit of presence over Baragon here, but I still think overall that they do look pretty good together. So I definitely do like it. So that pretty much covers that for the sizing. As far as pricing goes, at the time of release, this was roughly a $30 figure, 30 US dollars. Now, of course, though, it is more in the aftermarket, and prices that I've seen, if you're going to look on eBay and some other sites, you're more so looking at around the $50 range, you know, at least $40 to $50 from what I've seen. I can't necessarily say I can vouch for paying that much, but if you could try to keep your eyes open and see if you can get a little bit better of a deal for it. Like I said, other than the drawback of the, you know, the paint, I do still think it's a fantastic sculpt. Really captures Varan's look very, very well, and I definitely do recommend the figure for, you know, for anybody who's interested in collecting it and who's a fan of Varan. So. But other than that, though, folks, I think that pretty much should wrap it up for this video. You know, again, like I said in the last one, you know, just a lot of stuff I've been, you know, dealing with, so kind of, you know, it's hit or miss as far as when I'm going to be uploading, etc., etc. But, you know, I don't know when the next video will be yet, but we'll play it by ear and go from there. But like I said, though, I would like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.